I'm really sorry about this one. Well, let's go line dancing in a minefield. Here in Canada, we get a front row seat to the US Israel relationship, whether we want it or not. It's like living in an apartment above a couple who always yell, but also constantly buy each other extravagant gifts. Except those gifts are billion-dollar arms deals instead of flowers. In 2025, Washington is still treating Israel like their special little democracy in the Middle East, sharing it with 39.2 billion in active foreign military sales cases and another 3 billion in 2025 for Mk-84 bombs and Predator warheads because clearly more explosives will calm things down. As Canadians, we watch this like, right, so universal health care for your own citizens? No. But enough bombs to recarpet the desert? Absolutely. Canadians love to believe we're morally superior, especially when it comes to foreign policy. We send peacekeepers, or at least we used to, politely issue statements, and then quietly sell a few armored vehicles to whoever's buying. But the US? They don't just date Israel. They're that friend who finances the other's every bad decision and gets mad when people point out it's not a healthy relationship. And it's not even working. In 2025, 53% of Americans now have an unfavorable view of Israel. Among Democrats, that jumps to 69%, with younger Republicans starting to think maybe unconditional support isn't the move. Support for Israel's Gaza campaign is now just 32%, with Democrats at 8%. Here in Canada, those numbers would be called a mandate to change course. In the US, they're called fake news and met with another military aid package. From our side of the 49th, the US Israel story in 2025 looks like binge worthy trash TV. March 2025, US Congress probes whether Biden area agencies funded Israeli NGOs opposed to Netanyahu. Translation: Washington might have been meddling in Israeli politics while claiming moral high ground elsewhere. Trump's back in the White House and suggests the U.S. take over Gaza and make it the Riviera of the Middle East. Canada's reaction? Right. And maybe while you're at it, build a ski resort in Syria. Ambassador Mike Huckabee compares Gaza to Dresden and lectures the UK PM for calling for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, our diplomats would be busy drafting a firmly worded letter and maybe holding a fundraiser. It's a spectacle, and we can't even pretend we're neutral. Ottawa officially calls for restraint, but our trade agreements and quiet security cooperation mean we're basically in the splash zone of whatever the US does. Of course, Canadians can't just sit here sipping Tim Hortons and pretending we're innocent. We've sold weapons parts that end up in the Middle East. We've given diplomatic cover to Israel in the past, and our politicians still split along eerily similar lines to American ones. Conservatives. Israel is our ally. Full stop. Liberals. We believe in human rights, but also we like trade deals and security cooperation. So complicated? NDP Greens. Ceasefire now, followed by being ignored in question period. We like to think we're more moral, but if you look under the hood, we're just running a smaller, quieter version of the same machine. By August 2025, the US Israel relationship is at peak absurdity. Billions in weapons flowing, global condemnation from Europe, humanitarian corridors negotiated along military strikes, and domestic public opinion tanking. From Canada's perspective, it's like watching your downstairs neighbors have an expensive, loud, and very public breakup. But you still have to invite them both to your barbecue because you rely on one for your mortgage and the other for your Netflix password. So we'll keep playing the part, smile politely, call for restraint at the UN, and quietly hope that someday the US stops being that partner who buys their loved ones flowers right after setting the kitchen on fire. Thanks for watching the videos, guys. As always, stay safe.